Hey, what's up? We're Disturbed here at the London Dungeon. During a little bit of torture this morning, you're watching Metal Hammer TV. For me, it's just simply my heritage and my bloodline, and I'm very proud of it. But it has nothing to do with us as a band.
It does as you as a person. I mean, I'm
to me as a person, it's still important to me. It's important enough to me that I haven't tattooed my flesh. You know what I mean? But it's not. It doesn't identify Disturbed on any level.
No, of course not. I mean, you as a character, how much does it feed into that? Because you are a character.
Well. Yeah. It's a part of my persona, there's no question. And in growing up and my upbringing and the background that I come from, there's no denying that it's a factor in who I am as an adult today. And the different elements of struggle and throughout my youth, fights due to anti-Semitism that I've been through, plenty of them, unfortunately. And it definitely was a factor, and you know, also going through the numerous boarding schools that I was thrust into and thrown out of.
Really?
Yeah, successively, from time and time again. And
how come?
Well, I was kind of being trying to be molded into becoming a rabbi. I mean,
Really?
I had a very good head for Jewish law and for the Talmud, and I was already studying at advanced levels in high school, and I was kind of like the one that kind of pushed my family to become a little bit more religious initially, because I was going to a day school that had a bunch of religious kids in it, and I brought on stuff like the Sabbath and things like that for the family because I enjoyed it. It was just something nice and bonding for the family, and I kind of grew from there. But you know, I was never able to completely immerse myself in it to the point where I was okay being in a school of all guys, you know, and couldn't speak to girls and couldn't go see movies and couldn't read a newspaper because God forbid there's a lingerie ad in there and I may, you know, whack off or something like that. And it just got to the point of ridiculousness, and I saw too many elements of hypocrisy, not only in my own religious background but in organized religion in general. And so I strayed from it significantly. But the elements of my heritage that I'm still very proud of, I mean, you know, both of my grandparents on my mother's side are concentration camp survivors, one from Auschwitz and the other from Bergen-Belsen, and you know, the entire rest of my mother's side of the family was wiped out in the camps. And so I feel very, very strongly and I'm very closely connected to our past and our heritage. My grandfather on my father's side was in the Israeli underground prior to the formation of the state. He was a freedom fighter that helped bring about things and was a commando paratrooper, as well as my father that was in the Israeli military as well. So it's like there's this heritage and there's this legacy that I would be remiss, you know, if I ignored and would be irresponsible of me to ignore. People have said that from time to time, but Disturbed is not about preaching. Disturbed is about power. That's just, you want to get to the crux of all that we are about is power. We want you to feel strong. We want you to be able to listen to our music and be able to run through a brick wall. You know, that's what Disturbed's music is for. And the subject matter that's in it is going to have to come from the heart, and it has to come from stuff that's close to us and close to myself personally. Otherwise, it's not going to be pulled off with the right conviction, and it has to mean something. There's no question that people connect to the meanings within these songs. I mean, I know Danny was mentioning before numerous times online he sees fans, you know, emails and messages about how the messages within our music, the songs themselves, have saved their lives and enable them to get through bad relationships or enable them to deal with abusive situations that happened in their childhood or loved ones that have passed. I mean, we deal with all sorts of subject matter like that, not to beat it to death, not to try and say, oh, poor me, but as a means of catharsis. It's by connecting to these subjects, feeling them, and having your own ability to use that to free yourself of a burden. That's the most meaningful part of what we do. And to have that aspect of it, as well as empowering people, is tremendously gratifying.